Hi, well, here we are. It's Reflections, and this is December 31st, 2012. Who ever thought we'd arrive? I remember hearing about December 1st, 2012 when I first jumped onto my spiritual path in the mid-80s, probably 84 or 85, and I had little teeny children back then, toddlers, and I was thinking, oh, what's going to happen to my babies? And here they are thriving and doing well in a changing world. And I'm kind of excited about it myself. Anyway, I'm going to do something a little different this week. I have a channeling that Ezekiel did for me about this year. And I debated whether to paraphrase it or read it. So I'm going to try to mostly read it because I think it has impact when the words are, from that space. But I'll probably end up going off a little bit here and there. But it's a look at 2013, and Ezekiel is the emotional field of humanity. So, of course, he's going to look at this year coming up through the template of the emotional field, which has really changed quite a bit. So let's just dive into it and see what he has to say. It's a great New Year's message and a great gift, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. So here it goes. Hopefully you all know by now that you're creating your own reality and defining your future with every feeling and every thought. As the emotional grid of humanity, I hold the field that insists that you learn the constructive use of your emotions. After all, you have a thought, it creates a feeling, and then you usually respond to that feeling according to your level of consciousness and the patterns that you have in place. During 2012, there has been a huge shift in awareness and consciousness. You have all been deconstructing, whether you know this or not, the old vibrational reality that does not support the new frequencies of individuality, or as he puts it, sovereignty, at the same time as unity consciousness. So in other words, everything that's dualistic is coming together, but will still retain the flavors of its nature. And as you sift through the pieces of your old reality to see what parts will serve you and what parts have held you as in chains, you will begin to reconstruct your new reality. So in other words, deconstruct and reconstruct. 2013 will be a year in which this process will be speeding up tremendously, causing you to ride the emotional wave into healing and integration as you observe and focus in the incredible constructive changes beginning to align to these higher frequencies. They are beginning to align. They have begun to align. They have been aligning for quite some time. Notice I use the word deconstruct rather than crumbling and destruction, because in a conscious shift, you are being guided to embrace the values and thoughts that have served you well and integrate and expand new levels of thoughts and feelings to create a change from duality to unity while still embracing your individual and divine selves as God creators. Of course, your feelings are and will continue to be the key in this endeavor as you move into 2013. Your emotional energy has value, and you must recognize the value. Those who do not recognize the value of their emotional field and learn to use all their emotions constructively will struggle quite a bit as 2013 continues moving forward upon planet Earth. This year, 2013, has the potential to bring into every life an awakening and expansion to permeate your planet and the hearts of every human being. And it began way back in 1987 with harmonic convergence. But now it is no longer just being birthed and opening. It is full force vibrating upon your planet. What will you do with the higher frequencies? As with everything else, it's always a choice. It's up to you now to integrate these higher frequencies into your life constructively. No matter what happens, no matter what you experience, take the experience and the emotions and use them constructively and consciously to create with this new higher frequency. And you will find you will be very much supported in this. It's always a choice. All right, moving on. For example, he gives a great example. For example, if you're furious or hurt or upset about an experience that has happened to you, two things are always true. One, you did not yet take responsibility for your creation. And two, you use negative emotional energy destructively rather than constructively. Negative is not bad, dear ones. There is a negative and positive pole in all things, which come together to create an integrated whole. It's how you use the so-called negative emotional energy. And so 2013 will give you many opportunities to consciously learn to do this. Now I'd like to move along with some of the things that will be unfolding for the entire planet this year, and they will affect you as you learn to respond to them, as we've been saying, emotionally and constructively and consciously. The media will continue on as it has, although new media through the internet is rising to fill in the gap of more actual and truth. But the media will continue to deliberately focus on fear and negativity. Those already emanating the higher frequency, those of us who have embodied it, and if you're listening to this, I'm quite sure you're one of those, will be seeing the positive changes this momentum is creating, whereas those that are still paying attention to the fear will be blocked and stuck by that energy. Watch for a new banking and monetary system to rise out of the ashes and destruction of the old. It's already grown a healthy root system underground, and you will definitely see it poke through this coming year. New modalities, of course, in medicine and healing, not that they're new, but that they will now be, there will be more open use of these modalities. They'll be more commonly used. There'll be more ways to use them, and financially more ways created to make it possible. You will also see a significant change in debt. Prior to this awakening, debt has been used to enslave people, to keep them in fear, and to keep them feeling broke, as if they're always in debt, they'll never get out of debt. You're going to see debt shift in 2012. And to the level of your consciousness is the level to which you will see it shift. But there is every opportunity for every person on earth to be debt-free in 2013. And these things will be unfolding. These opportunities, you will start to see it happen. Because if you think about it, dear ones, what's the one thing that would equal the playing field across the planet? The elimination of all debt. If there were no debt, there would be so much more abundance on every level, ability to share. Those who have more would even have more of an ability to share. Those who feel they have nothing could get ahead and begin to create. And that's what you're going to see in 2013. So pay attention. If it's not happening in your own life, then you have to be conscious of why not and what you're creating, because it is here. So look for the debt factor to shift. There will be, people ask, will there be more earth shifts and hurricanes, Sandys and tsunamis, etc.? And yes, the weather patterns will continue to intensify, but understand they will intensify and create opportunity to deconstruct and reconstruct consciously in your environment. And if you are experiencing one, it's because you chose to, because of your level of consciousness, and you will be able to move from that point. So it'll be up to each and every one of you to awaken and find the opportunity in all these things that are unfolding. But just remember, you will attract what you're vibrating. That never changes. So shine your light on those new seeds we're talking about that are sprouting in the financial world, in banking world, in the health world, and in the world where human hearts, where human beings are owning that they love one another. Shine your light on those seeds. They need the warmth of your heart to grow and to take hold. When bombarded from without, go within and focus on that sacred space. Just like any seeds, the seeds of change need your nourishing to thrive. As so many teachers and masters have shared, the new earth is emerging, and it is every individual's choice where to focus their consciousness. Catch the magic and soar, or swim in the decaying mass of the old paradigm. You know, here's a way you can think of this as what's happened here on Earth. We're at the end of the, quote, Mayan calendar, the 26,000 year cycle, the 44 billion year cycle, all kinds of things, something that our planet has never experienced before. And there is an entire new frequency. So look at it this way. Here's what Ezekiel says. After all, if you drain a pond and create a new biosphere where air replaces water, let's say, all life not compatible with the new medium, in this case air, will deconstruct, and yet from its nutrients will be created a new life in harmony with this change. And that's the real message I want to leave you here with now. You're no longer, let's say, living in the old frequency, as in this example, water, but you're living in the new frequency as, let's say, in this example, air. And everything will be vibrating this, and what isn't will die off. And from it, though, you will use its nutrients to create the new reality. So feel your way through, dear ones. Do not be afraid of these feelings. All of them are your teachers. And no matter how they may be interpreted, open your hearts. And as always, take care of who you are. Blessings, Ezekiel. All right. That was kind of a this and a that to pull it all together. But it's the message for 2013. Pretty much straight from Ezekiel with a little interpretation from me. So have a great New Year's, a great beginning of the year. As your year starts out, that's the momentum it's going to keep rolling on. There is only 4 more days or 5 more days till January 4th to get a session with Ezekiel and I, the holiday Christmas special. If you don't see it on YouTube, it's www.heartlights.net. Go to my website. It's a great special. And I hope to meet more of you this way because Ezekiel and I just love to do it. You have a great year, and I'll be back with you in a week or so.